Hey mate, keen to come for a dive? Perfect, I knew you would be. So without further ado, let's get out there and let's get wet.
Alright, let's do it, let's jump in here.
We definitely crossed paths at the right time. This was an incredible day, insane diving on huge workups, and I'm glad you could be here to enjoy it with me. Some days it feels as though the stars have aligned. There are fish everywhere. You are in the right place at the right time, and you couldn't be happier. You are mesmerized by the colors and shapes of thousands of fish. Thousands of worthy fish worthy of the spear passing by in front of your eyes. But you don't shoot. You're in awe of the beauty. You know that this is going to be an incredible day, so there is no rush. There is no need to shoot on the first fish that you see when the whole day is ahead of you. To be in the presence of so much energy, so much life, is a hypnotic experience. You are there, in the moment, engaged entirely. It commands all of your attention, and nothing else is on your mind except what is right in front of you. It is an experience that you don't get very often in your day-to-day life. You are excited, in awe of what is in front of you, but you contain yourself. You regain your composure and dive down into the school once again, mesmerized all over by the shapes and colors of the fish all around you, surrounding your vision entirely, encircling, enveloping your body. It is a beautiful feeling, but you can't relax. You never know what's going to be out there and what's going to come in. Predatory fish, sharks, you never know. You have to always be on edge. Magnificent scales reflect light into your eyes as the sunlight glances off the skin of a trevally. Always a beautiful sight, but to see it played out on a grand scale is something else. It is breathtaking. To pick a fish from the school takes lightning fast reflexes, intuition, and a little bit of luck. It's not easy, and that's why fish do it. It's really hard to select a fish and get a good shot. This one didn't pan out, unfortunately. A clean miss. You wouldn't think it was possible with that many fish, but I managed to pull it off anyway. With persistence, you will often get another opportunity, as is presented here. I take a shot, hitting 2. Unfortunately, the first one was a gut shot, which managed to rip out, and the second one didn't get full penetration. So you can see there that the flopper is still closed, and when the trevally takes off, it tears out. Unfortunate, but it happens sometimes. However, we're not ones to give up easily, so we're going to try again and make it happen. Trevally are often one of the hardest species to target spearfishing. They're very intelligent fish. They have great reactions. And in workups, they're no different. If you try extending one, a lot of the time, they're going to spook and get out of the way. However, they are a lot easier in these sort of situations than in small inshore waters. After trying and failing a couple extensions on fish, I hold back and wait for a good school to come through. From the right hand side, we get a couple nice trevallies, and I get a good line up, take a shot and get a double. The first shot hit really well. It spined the trevally, basically knocking that one out. However, the fish behind it, I got it mid body but in the tail, a shot that can easily tear. So when I'm bringing it up, I'm going to go for the fish at the bottom first because I know it has a more realistic chance of breaking off. So I'm going to secure this fish, icky it, bleed it, and then work my way down to the first fish on the spear, which has been shot through the spine and incapacitated. The ocean is full of friendly creatures, including this guy. While technically not in the ocean, he is an ocean animal. When you're anchoring on shallow reef coming out of really deep water, it can pay to drop the anchor by hand. Make sure you're getting it exactly where you want it. Just because you can does not mean that you should. This day we could have realistically gotten our limit. We could be shooting fish every single dive, getting a total of 20 fish. But that is unreasonable. Totally unreasonable. Who needs 20 trevallies or 20 kahawais? It's unsustainable and it's greedy. I don't know who thinks that is a reasonable limitation. I believe that our current fisheries management system is a total joke. It is pretty disgraceful, honestly. So you're allowed 20 finfish. This includes John Dory, Trevally, Gurnard, Kahawai, and Terraki, among others. So you're allowed 20 of those as a combined total. In addition to that, you can take 7 snapper. And in addition to that, you can take 3 kingfish. All legally. You can get all those fish, and you wouldn't be breaking any laws. What a fucking disgrace. For a country that is so reliant and so intertwined with the ocean, we do a terrible job at looking after it. And the legislation is behind. Many years behind. We need to get our shit together and protect this before it's gone. Because it will be. It's only a matter of time. Recreational fishing does have a big impact on the environment. But what's even bigger is commercial fishing. If you care about the ocean, I would encourage you to never buy fish. Do not support commercial fishing. Do not support the commercialization and monetary gain of greedy people by exploiting a natural resource owned by all of us. It is too valuable to catch up in nets and ship off to Asia. Last year in 2020, $2 billion of seafood was exported from New Zealand. In the year 2018, 901 tons of seafood was shipped overseas. And who benefited from that? I didn't. You didn't. Really, none of us benefited except for a couple of people. And everyone lost as a result. The ocean took the greatest toll, however. It's not fair. If I could achieve one single thing in my entire life, it would be putting an end to commercial fishing. I love the ocean above all else, and I think the greatest adversary is commercial fishing. I would give everything, sacrifice everything, and give my life to make this dream happen. I'm going to dedicate my life to inspiring people and showing them the beauty so they don't buy fish. That is how we're going to end commercial fishing. If no one buys fish, no one's going to sell fish. It's that simple. And that's how I'm going to change the world. I'm going to show people the beauty of the underwater world so they can appreciate it and realize how much is at stake, and it's not worth buying it from a supermarket, having no connection. Throughout all of human history, up until very recently, the ocean has been inaccessible and poorly understood. Only now, with recent technological advancements, can we actually venture into this alien world. And only even more recently have we had the technology to be able to share it. This lack of understanding has led to the ocean being exploited for centuries. This area that we're diving is frequented by commercial fishing boats. Imagine them dragging a huge net through and catching an entire school of trevally, only to ship them off overseas, and a couple people profit off it. What a shame. What a disgrace. How is that allowed? How is that legal? It's unbelievable to me. There is still much beauty to be seen in the ocean. It is a wonderful place, but we know that it's nothing like it used to be. I hope in my lifetime to see things improve, and see things I never thought possible when I was this age. I believe we can change things for the better, and that the ocean can recover. We just need to give it a chance. Towards the bottom of these workups were blue mackerel, a fish that I haven't seen many times, let alone ever actually shot. I get Charlie to pass me a short bowshare gun, but it's something I'm not very familiar with, so I end up having a bit of trouble with the trigger. Blue mackerel are difficult fish to shoot and land. They're generally very fast moving, not particularly big, and they have very soft flesh. Generally, if you're going to see blue mackerels, you're going to be in offshore waters. Areas where there's other fish feeding. They like to hang out underneath the other feeding fish. Things like Kahawai, Trevally. If you take a dive down through the school, there's a chance you're going to come across some blue mackerel. However, it's not particularly common. Diving on workups is a lot more work than it looks. The fish are moving very quickly. From the surface, it looks like they all hang out in one spot and feeding, but underwater is a different story. Think about it, all these fish are feeding, and with that many fish in one area, the food is going to deplete very quickly. Today they were feeding on little krill shrimpy type things in the water. They would move from one area, absolutely smash, devour all of them, and then keep on moving. As a result, I had to follow them, and I was kicking flat out the entire time. As the day gets on, the workups become a lot harder to dive on as well, as there's been boats, fishermen, activity, other predators harassing them. Generally, if you're going to be diving on workups, the best time is in the morning, when those fish are still fresh and they haven't been harassed too much. As the day gets later on, it can become really difficult. I was getting right to the edges of these schools, swimming my hardest, just getting there, and then just getting ghosted on the border. Really hard work. I was honestly trying my hardest to shoot one of these blue mackerels. I had my mind set on it, but things just weren't panning out. It was really hard work. I managed to get a couple shots, but just never really presented themselves the way I wanted them to. I titled this episode Insane Workup Diving. I try not to add heaps of fake, hyperlative words to my videos, because I don't want to clickbait you, but this was by definition insane diving. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. In this case, I was diving on the workups over and over and expecting to get a blue mackerel, which I didn't. Thus, insane diving. This dive here was the best opportunity I got on the blue mackerel all day. I could see them coming in and I thought this was the moment. I line up and managed to get a shot into one. However, it's not a great shot. Very soft flesh, you need to hit these fish well. This one is on for a second then tears off. I was absolutely heartbroken. I haven't been that gutted on a fish in probably months. After that, I was sort of like, fuck this little bullshit gun. I'm going to use my gun and hopefully get a shot on them. Something I got a little bit more faith in. Anyway, I dive on the school again, but I just don't get presented with an opportunity. By this point, I'm bloody exhausted from chasing these things around all day. So after that, we decide to head for the reef and do something a little bit more laid back and relaxed. Just get some fish for the table. Here we got a butterfish, line up on him, but don't take the shot. This one was a little bit small for my liking. However, this one in the distance, he gets the trigger. Always a beautiful table fish, love eating butterfish. First fish I've ever shot, never going to complain. I think they're probably the funnest fish to hunt actually, really involved, engaging diving. Also got a coherer here, excellent sashimi. Always try to get a good sashimi fish in there as well. Probably one of the best, if not the best, sashimi fish I reckon. We've got some beautiful terrain here, black angelfish hanging out, silver drummers, some nice big ones hanging out in this cave here, and even at the bottom, a packhorse lobster. Beautiful big guy. However, we just left this one. I don't generally go for packhorses just because they're too big. This episode's sustainability message is be vocal about your hate for commercial fishing. Encourage your friends and family to only catch their own fish and stop buying it and depleting the ocean as a result.